Hello, welcome to Central Florida Salute YouTube. I have the honor of talking to the National Commander for AMVETS, and his name is Mr. Horace Johnson. Horace, Commander, welcome to Central Florida Salute.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's an honor to have you, Horace. I met you several times in the past, but never really had a chance to do a Zoom like this. Could you tell me a little bit about yourself, what branch of the service you were in, and when you were in?
Okay, I'm one of the older guys. I'm a Vietnam veteran. I was a combat medic in Vietnam. I was in the Army. I was in Vietnam from 68 to 69. From June 27, 68 to June 27, 69. 365 days.
Wow.
I went to basic training in Fort Benning, Georgia. I went to medical training in San Antonio, Texas. And then I went to Fitzsimmons General Hospital as a medic for about 9 months. Then I got orders to go to Vietnam. And I stayed over there for 365 days, and I came back. And I went to Fort Knox for the last 9 months I was in the military, and I got out because I was upset because I had to go to war and didn't know it. I mean, I didn't know what it was. I was a teeny bop. Started at 17 in the Army. So anyhow,
17, huh?
17, yeah. My mother signed me, had to sign me in. So anyhow,
Anyhow, welcome home.
thank you. And I went to the U.S. Postal Service, and I was in the Postal Service for about 15 years. No, 10 years. And a friend of mine came to the job, and he had on an Army uniform. I'm like, Larry, where you get that uniform from? He said, I'm in the Army National Guard. I'm like, really? How you get in that? He took me out there, and I signed up for 1 year, and I did 18. Because I did like the camaraderie of the military, but I was young at first when I first went in, and 10 years later, I had my mindset so I could,
So where
I
are you
could
from
deal.
originally?
I'm
What
actually
state?
originally from Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, Cleveland. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And as I was in the post office for 35 years, I did 18 of those 35 years in the Army National Guard. And I went from a combat medic to I became a cook, and then I became the mess sergeant, and then I became a first sergeant of a unit, which was armored cavalry. So I had to, in all of these different jobs, I had to get the job classification. I had to go to Army school for like cook school. And then when I went all the way up to chair to E7, and then I became a first sergeant, which is the E8, I had to go get that MOS school, which was a combat arms MOS. I became a Cav Scout. So the Cav Scout took me from E8, I became an E9 Sergeant Major when I got out. And I continued in the post office until I retired after 35 years. And then I came to Florida. I retired and got out of there because I was sick of the snow.
Yeah,
So,
I can relate to that, Horace. I can relate to that. I'm from Connecticut. I got sick of the
okay.
snow too.
Yeah, I used to deliver mail. I used to have icicles on my beard. It was just that cold out there. So
Yeah.
I came down here to Florida and I moved into Tampa. I've been in Tampa now for 20 years. I'm about to tell my age.
Well, I can almost figure it out, but I'm not going to
Yeah.
take a chance because I don't want to
Okay.
mess with the national commander. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. So me being a sergeant major in the Army, I'm one of those type of people. I got that kind of personality. When I see something broke, I want to fix it. So I actually joined AMVETS Post 4 in Tampa. I was directed there because I had service officers, so-called service officers there, and I wanted to get my disability. So I joined Post 4, but taking me with me, I started going to the meetings. And every time I heard something I didn't particularly think was right, I would stand up and say something. And these people said, this guy keep on getting up, let's talk him into becoming an officer. So what they did was they tricked me into becoming the first vice, and then the commander in 2 months was removed. And I ended up being the commander of Post 4, Tampa. So as I'm being the commander, I started going to the state meetings, SECs. And then I started going up those chairs in the state. I was the adjutant for AMVET's post four, no, for the state of Florida for 3 years. And then I became the second vice. And then that's when you start seeing me. And I became the third vice. I mean, the first vice. Then I became the state commander. While I'm going to the state and going up these chairs, I started going to the national. And national is the same configuration as just national. Okay. So I was there. I became a deputy provost marshal for national. And then I got on some committees that the commander appointed me to. I was in the diversity committee and I was on the uniform committee, but I was listening and talking to all of these people around there. So finally, they had this thing called the Service Foundation, the national and the department. The Service Foundation is a 501c3 organization, part of our organization where they can solicit funds. The National Service Foundation got bucks. And this Department of Florida Service Foundation got bucks. And what they do is they're supposed to do grants, and they assist the department or national when they need money and stuff like that. So I found out that there was a slot available on the Service Foundation after I've been going to national for about 5 years, 6 years, something like that. So I ran for Service Foundation trustee and got elected. Service Foundation trustee is 3 years. So I got elected on the Service Foundation. Somebody had left the Service Foundation, so first I finished his 2 years, and then you can be elected 2 3-year terms. So I got elected 2 more times. So I was on the Service Foundation for 8 years. While I'm on the Service Foundation, I'm knowing where all the money is at, all the planning. I'm looking at all these financial records and financial reports and everything. I'm learning a lot about AMVETS. Constitution bylaws, you can learn that going up to state. But the money is where I learned about, where it was going and how it's being disseminated. So, and I was getting a lot of attention. People were knowing me because I was on the Service Foundation. So finally, 2 3 years ago, I decided, not just me, friends of mine and me decided, and the Department of Florida supported me, I was going to run for the National Third Vice Commander. So I ran for the National Third Vice Commander, and I got beat. I got beat by another guy. And I was done. I was finished. I was mad. I lost. How dare they? So they asked me, was I going to do it again? I'm like, let me just think about it. Let me just think about it. So about 2 months after the national convention, I'm like, if I quit, I'll never get it again. And if I quit, all the people that would support me, I'll be letting them down because I'm a quitter. So right at the same time, that person that beat me for third vice called me and said, Horace, I want to stay in third vice for a second term. How about you run for second vice? I'm like, that sounds about right. That would put me right where I want to be at, where I should have been in the first place. So I ran, and I won that position. And I became second vice, and then I had to. I seemed like I was the only person that did work because when I became second vice, National had lost their programs, computer stuff, and they had to get it back. And me being a second vice, I was directly involved in that. And then when I got elected first vice, here we go again. They had messed up with the membership stuff, and I had to get involved in that. So I did that too. So now I'm the national commander, and I live in Bowie, Maryland. And the commander has a condo. So I live in Bowie, Maryland. My wife is in Ohio right now. Her mother's sick, so I'm just here by myself. So it's kind of lonely up here. So, but I'm trying to do what I do. My goals for AMVETS is, about 2 years ago, we had an issue where we had to let go most of our service officers. And it was a lot of rumors going around. Everybody was mad. The AMVETS is going away, and AMVETS is getting run out of business and all of that stuff. Well, that was not the case. What they had told everybody, but they couldn't understand it, was they was going to let the service officers go for a while, and they did not let them all go. We had a few of them stay on. They're still doing service officer work as we speak, and we still got record number of people that we've saved and got them to disability. Well, they gave us a black eye. And one of my goals right now is to, the reason why I'm on this podcast, because I want to be seen. I want to be the face of the organization. I want everybody to know that AmVets is viable and we doing things. We still doing our community services. We do AmVets against drug and alcohol abuse. We do Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. We do military honors. We uh, uh, we do have service officers that helps veterans get their disabilities and whatever else they need to get done. And we got a whole host of things that we do. And we still doing them. And AmVets is here and we ain't going nowhere. We're the fourth largest in the United States. We started in 1944, was chartered in 1947 by President Truman. We are here and we're not going anywhere. We have
Yeah,
thrift, huh?
I will say this, I'm a proud member of Post 2006 in
You
Leesburg,
are.
Florida. And my post is very, very supportive of a lot of things. One thing they're very supportive is what you're talking to right now is Central Florida Salute on YouTube. My post, I'm proud to say, supports me. I'm a not-for-profit, and my partner, which you can't see over here, Sue, we are a two-person operation, and AmVets is my biggest sponsor, and I really appreciate what they do, and I really appreciate you because I've watched you over the years go up, and when the National Cemetery in Bushnell, they had a problem with the Caroline, which is, I call it like a bell tower, that plays taps throughout the whole cemetery, and it had not worked for 7 years. I contacted you, you got the ball rolling, and now they have the Caroline is working great, and they really appreciate it, and I appreciate everything.
That's when I was in the Service Foundation. The Service Foundation is the one that does that. Like I said, the Service Foundation is the one that does grants and Carolines and things like that. Actually, charities of Service Foundation. But yeah, and I was on charities. In fact, I was the treasurer of charities. And if I can't do something for my own state, I'm not. I'm really not being effective. Now I'm trying to do something for the whole United States. I want everybody to know that AmVets is here. We're alive and kicking, and we're helping veterans because that's our passion. Because all of us are veterans, and we know how it is.
Yeah. Now, people watching this maybe do not know maybe about the AMVETs. What is a requirement to be an AMVET member? And also, we have an auxiliary and sons, correct?
Yes. Okay. You have to be a veteran in from a military veteran, or you could have been in the reserves or the National Guard, and some what's the name of it? Merchant Marines that was in World War II can actually join. They have 214s also. I didn't know that, but they can join also. Though, but them guys are probably really old now since it was World War II. That's for the AMVETs. In order to become a ladies auxiliary, you have to be a son. Sorry, you have to be a wife, a mother, a daughter, a sister of a veteran, or the the the, the, the veteran could be your grandparent also, the wife, or it can be your granddaddy, your grandmother, and that kind of thing. That's the only thing that becomes veteran. I'm sorry, I'm getting twisted. Only thing that can become ladies auxiliary. Now we've had people that wanted to join the ladies auxiliary that were not ladies. Sister, all this other stuff is coming out now. But the ladies auxiliary and the sons, they are adamant about they want to keep the ladies auxiliary as ladies and the sons as sons. Sons, you have to be a son, a grandson of a veteran, become a son. It was a lot of controversy just recently, a lot of controversy about that, but we still got the ladies auxiliary, the sons, and the AMVETs. And then we got juniors. Juniors are AMVETs from 4 to 18. Kids or grandkids of veterans.
Oh, okay. I didn't know much about the juniors. Well, speaking for my post 2006, we have a great auxiliary and a great sons fact, the Suns just did a nice event for September 11th. You know, they do a lot to celebrate things. So, yeah, getting to the Merchant Marine, I may be wrong on this, but I've done a lot of shows and I've interviewed people who are Merchant Marines or Merchant Mariners, and certain ones qualify for the VA if they had served on a flagship. That was a requirement for them
Okay.
to be the VA, and they had to fight for their benefits for a
They
lot of
definitely had to
years.
fight. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, we veterans had to fight. I had to fight for my disability. I'm a combat medic. I had to prove that I was in Vietnam, and I didn't even know I was authorized, but I've been in combat, so I got a combat medical badge. I had to prove that I earned that. That's one of the things I had to do to get my disability. Now, I was on my 214, but, you know, we got so many. The reason why we have to prove this is because we got so many people out here that really didn't have service connected disabilities, or they weren't authorized the disability that they applied for, and they have to weed those people out because
yeah.
obviously, it's free. It's not. It's like free money, but it's not free money because we earned every dime we get.
You got that right.
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
that right.
But then some of these people that haven't earned it, it's free money to them if they can get it. I mean, come on, somebody handing out money.
So,
A
what
lot
are
of
the
people gonna try to.
what is the major issues you see facing AMVETS today?
The main issue we have is young folks. See, the average age of AMVETS right now is about 55 to 65. Okay, and that's because these young folks, they come to AMVETS posts and all these old guys and girls are there saying, you wouldn't in no war if you was over Desert Storm, talking down at them. And at the same time, the main thing these young folks are doing, these young folks are out here making life. They got kids, they got to raise, they ain't got time to be sitting around on no canteen. They going to basketball games, the football games, the track games, and all of these games with their kids. They go, and then on the weekends, they going away somewhere, and then in summer, they going on vacation. They don't have time in their life right now for ambulance. That's why they always wait till they become an old person.
Hey, we're not old, Horace.
No, we're not old. I feel like
We're
I'm
not old.
22,
Yeah.
until I wake up in the morning.
But anyway, I'm looking forward to you. I know you're going to be doing the tour in February, I believe.
Yes,
I'll
yes.
see you down here at in Leesburg, and I'm happy you made it. You worked very hard at this, and I'm very proud to be an AMVET member.
Yeah.
And if you have to have served like what 30 days, is that or 60 days?
I don't know exactly how many days. You have to be served and have every intention of being a veteran or being a soldier, sailor, airman, or marine, or a space person, or whatever that is. But I don't know the exact amount of days or weeks or months it is. Just had to have good intentions. If something happens to you in basic training or something like that, you're gonna probably get a 214 also, unless in the
Yeah,
line of duty.
yeah. So are you off to anywhere now? Or are you going to be staying there for a while?
This weekend, well, tomorrow night I'll be at Capitol Club on Capitol Hill. I'll be having dinner up there. Um, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm supposed to be with the Gold Star Mothers. They having a big thing out here in Washington, D.C. They having um, a meet and greet night Friday night, and in the morning they go into a veterans home and they're gonna play some games with the veterans. And then Sunday they'll be laying a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and I'll be there with them because obviously we got to support them too. Those Star Mothers. I mean, can you imagine what they done lost? So
Yeah,
and as a veteran, a combat veteran, I know what they've lost. I've been there, done that.
yeah. I have a couple of friends of mine who are Gold Star parents. They've been on my show. They're very active in the Eagles over here.
Mm.
And speaking of you being Army, if you will get a chance to look at some of my shows on my YouTube channel, you'll see a gentleman called Rocky Lynn. RockieLynne, Rocky Lynn, country and western singer who sings all over the country, and the military sends him overseas to entertain the troops. He was in the 82nd Airborne,
Wow.
and he does a motorcycle ride all over the country, at least a couple times a year for Gold Star families. So you might enjoy seeing that. But
And
you know what?
go ahead, I'm
Go ahead,
sorry.
sir.
And rolling to remember, our AMVETS riders, we support Gold Star Mothers too. That's one of the things that we do for Rolling to Remember. When we drive down doing that memorial ride, we have Gold Star Mothers on the back of our riders. They're riding on the back of the bikes. That's how close we are to Gold Star Mothers. And then they have a luncheon at the Vietnam Memorial also.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Well, is there anything else that you particularly would like to talk about? An issue that you think is you have to address?
well, one of the other things that I would like to talk about is ever since I've been in AMVETS, it's always been national and then us. National up there and then us. What I want to bring back home is not national and then us, it's us. It ain't no such thing as national and then us. National is a part of us. They just do more of the administrative stuff. And now I'm gonna be bringing that up to the forefront too. I'm Horace Johnson. You know me, so I'm national. So national is us.
All right. Well, Horace, I'll tell you, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Good seeing you again. I'm
All
looking
right,
forward to seeing you in February.
you will.
And
Yes,
I guess we're going to say goodbye. To all our
yes.
veterans out there, our active military and their families, we salute you for all you do. Till next time.
For all you do.
You got that right, brother. I'll see you
All right.
and welcome home.
Thank you. Same to you. And I'll see you again. I'll see you down in Leesburg.
Take care, buddy.
Okay.
Today I'm at AMVETS Post 2006, a major sponsor of Central Florida Salute. And I want to introduce to you the commander here, Ronnie Mack. Ronnie, tell us a little bit about AMVETS 2006. Where are you located? And
we are at 500 North Canal Street, Leesburg, Florida. It's right off of 441, between 441 and Main Street on Canal. Can't miss us. And we're a veterans organization, along with, we have an auxiliary, and we have sons of veterans that are related some form or another to a veteran. And we do a lot for a lot of charitable donations and stuff to charities in the area and in the county. And we're a major sponsor to Central Florida Salute. We're proud of it. We're glad to be. You guys do a heck of a job, and we'll sponsor you as long as I'm here. We're going to sponsor you. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, we do. Sue and I really appreciate it. We're a two-person operation. Yep. And what we try to do with education and supporting our veterans community, and you supporting us is major thing. It's major.
We're glad to do it, Bob. We're glad to do it.
And you have sons here. You have auxiliary here. You've got a website too if somebody wants to join.
Yep, it's don't punch into www. It's amvets-2006.org, and it'll take you right to our website, Facebook page, and all that's there, and you'll be able to find that. The webmaster, he tries to get the calendar on there every month, anything pertinent. There's a lot of other links on there for veterans to find out where to get help for certain claims and stuff like that. Our webmaster's really into that stuff. That's the guy you ought to be interviewing right there. So,
well, you know what,
he's got
Ronnie?
A lot of stuff.
You have a lot of clout. You tell him to talk to me, and we'll get him on the show. Okay?
I can do that.
All right. But I just want to, on behalf of Sue and myself,
We want to thank AMVETS 2006 because you guys are the major players behind us, and we appreciate it.
But we just wish we could do more. We really do.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys are awesome.